What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Heart of a Lion podcast. I'm your host, Jay, and you have just stepped into the Lion's Den. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, then go ahead and hit that follow or the subscribe button from wherever you're listening to the podcast, as well as to follow the page on Instagram at HoAL Podcast. Again, that's at HoAL Podcast. Now, if you're returning listeners, and thank you for coming back for some more, thank you for tuning in. Your support is always very much appreciated. Now, today is a special day because I've had guests on the show before. I've had my sister Aurelia. I've had others on it as well, and I will have more in the future. But today I have two guests. One who is returning is my sister Aurelia, but also I have my little sister Roxcee as well. So Roxcee, Aurelia, welcome on.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here. I feel like you be saying everybody's a special guest.
They are when they're not a normal guest. He's the normal guest.
Yes,
I guess.
Here you
Girl.
go. Here you go. You starting off.
Everybody's a special guest. You know what? Just say that she's the regular old guest, even though this is her first time.
Okay.
I can't.
But I can be the special guest.
Well, welcome my special guest Aurelia and my regular old guest Roxcee.
Okay.
So Roxcee, again, one thing I do on every episode is I highlight a person that other people should follow, should listen to, should subscribe to, whatever. Who is one person that you love listening to or subscribing to, following, whatever, on social media?
Jackie Hill Perry. She's my girl. Like, she's that person. Period. Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Amen.
She's that girl. She's that person. Like, she's great.
So
She's amazing.
So it's funny because Aurelia actually mentioned Jackie Hill Perry when we did our podcast. But what is it about Jackie Hill Perry that you love beside her being that girl, being that one?
I love how she knows the word. Like, she knows the word, and like the revelation that she has about the word is like amazing. It's like mind blowing. Also, her fashion, like, how you put that together?
Mm-hmm. It be looking good. I can't do it.
Like, how do you put that together? And she just like wears it. Like, it's a lot, but like her family, how much she loves her family, her husband, her children. Like, it's like she's winning and her family is winning with her. Like, she just gives. Like, she's a great role model. I feel like for me, like, she's one of those people who I would say is a great role model. Like, the way how she knows the word and teaches the word is like, yo, I want to know the word like her. Like, okay. So anyways, that's it. I could go on and on, but yeah.
Amen. The first thing that came to my mind, and this is not a shot at you, but this is just a thought that came to mind. It's like the way to know the word like her is to just read the word more.
Yeah, that's true.
And I say that because I feel like so many times people are like, oh man, I want to be on this platform. Or, oh man, what they do is great. Oh man, I want to do da-da-da-da. But do you spend time on your word like they do? Do you spend time preparing like they do? Are you spending time just in the face of God? Like, because when you spend more time in the face of God, like, what's for you is meant for you, and what's meant for you will come.
It's true. I agree with that. But, I have this conversation with Aurelia and Namir all the time, too. Like, I'm very curious about, like, how people study the word, like, their way of studying the word. And it seems like, not saying that her way is better than our way of, like, how we study the word, but it just fascinates me to see that there's, like, fruit from how she studies the word. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, wow, like, it's just, like, amazing to just see her perspective and, like, what she gets from the way how she studies the word. Like, even with Namir, when I talked to him about certain things, I'm like, wow, I never saw it that way. The same with Aurelia. So, yeah, that's that.
Who is Namir? I'm sorry.
Namir is my husband. Okay? Period. My man. And shout out to you. I know he's going to listen to it.
Yeah, of course he is. And you've been married how long now?
Today is 5 months. Yes.
Okay. Congrats on the 5 months.
Grace, and lots of grace. Y'all, I didn't tell him that I was going to record this episode. So I'm going to tell him as soon as we get off.
Okay.
I want to take a picture and send it to him.
Oh. I'm weak.
I was joking.
Oh, okay.
But okay. So we talked about this a week ago and said that we wanted to record together because we had recorded together 5 years ago now.
Was that 5 years
ago? I think it was 5 years ago now, where we came together to do what we called a Christian mukbang.
Oh my gosh.
Which was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. So we talked about coming together to record again, and we all know what we're going to talk about. I do have a question for y'all. And I'm sure that this question will lead to however we decide to go. And my question is, when is the last time you prayed for somebody that you either don't care for or had a falling out with?
I do it almost every day. If you haven't heard Baby Mama Drama on all the shenanigans, listen. I did it yesterday. What?
Yeah.
I probably will do it today.
I think my issue is, and I've said this, well, not to you, Jay, you're the first time, and everyone else who's about to listen, but I've realized that I do this toxic trait. I have this toxic trait where, maybe it's not toxic, I don't know, maybe it is, where if I like put Band-Aids on things, you know, and I also do this thing where if we have a falling out, I just don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, I will see you and not see you. And it's so bad. And that's something like I need to work on. So to answer your question, yeah.
So I tend to feel like that sometimes. I'll say this. If I've gotten to a point where I feel like I've done all that I can do, meaning, you know, I've tried to rectify the issue, I've tried to reconcile, I've tried to apologize if there was something that they felt like I did wrong. If I've gone the extra mile and done everything and there's still some type of issue, then ain't nothing I can do at that point but to just pray. You know, or even if it's not necessarily I did something wrong, but just if I feel like I've done everything that I can or everything that I know to do, at the end of the day, like all I can do is just turn to God and be like, look, Lord, I just got to give it to you.
Right.
But to answer the question, I think for me, it was either this morning or yesterday. I honestly don't remember when it was. I honestly don't even remember who it was that I prayed for. I just remember thinking about the person. I was like, you know what? Let me just pray. Let me just pray for this person.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I love that. I feel like a heathen right now. I'm joking. No, I do need to work on that because it's just so bad. Like, it's so bad because, again, like I would see the person and like sometimes I will like, Lord, I release them and I keep on going. But then I just feel like I just ignore the person, almost like they don't exist in my world. Even if like they're in front of me, like I don't really like acknowledge them or anything like that. But that's something that I do need to start doing for sure. Yeah,
I think that when it comes to people, so there's definitely, we're definitely meant to do fellowship with people, to do fellowship with other believers. And I definitely think that when we do have issues or we have fallen outs or whatever, like we should definitely, you know, work to mend those relationships or reconcile those relationships, whatever. Right. At the end of the day, again, like we can only do what we can do. You know, I do think that sometimes it is meant for us to have a healthy break or a healthy separation with people. And I also don't think that when we see those people, like it should never be where it's like, man, let me just, you know, instead of taking a straight line, let me go the opposite direction. Let me make a big U, you know, let me avoid this person at all costs, or I feel some type of resentment pop up when I see them. It's like, nah, like I should still be able to like, hey, how are you? You know, whatever type thing. You know, we don't have to be like what we were. But I can still acknowledge that person. I can still, you know, say, hey, I can still love on that person if the Lord leads me to. But I think sometimes and when I say we, I don't mean the three of us, but just we as believers make it more awkward or make it more contentious. Is that the right word? More contentious than it needs to be.
Yeah, like like recently, I saw someone who, I mean, we don't talk anymore, but we used to talk. And I remember, like, you know, being a little bit more intentional about recognizing the person, like seeing the person, like actually, like not like zoning out or like pretending like they're not there, but like actually like, okay, this person is in front of me. Let me do like a gesture. I didn't say hi, but I smiled. And I thought, you know, in America, when you smile, someone is hi, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Like that's a way of saying hi. And like the person like just like looked straight ahead, but then said, actually the person said hi to someone who was like literally in, like next to me and like walked by me. And I said, you know, like I felt a little bit offended, but I said, you know what? It's okay because I be seeing this person and I be ignoring them. So it is what it is.
Oh my gosh.
I know, guys, I'm being vulnerable. Okay?
I know.
Like, it's just,
but I think that a lot of people do that, like, and don't care. But even like when you say you release them, like I know I'm a little bit different, you know that, but
Okay.
I empathize with why is the person the way that they are, and so I have a tendency, like you heard me just say that like every day it's a certain person that I have to pray for or forgive or whatever. But I feel like I do that often with people. Like God places a lot of people on my heart to pray for, and those that I'm not necessarily friends with anymore. And there are some friendships where I'm like, not that I necessarily want reconciliation, but praying for them because I see the burned bridges behind them that they have outside of me. And it's like, Lord, what is in them for them to like walk out their life in that way? Why do they do that? Like, why, you know, why are they okay with those types of relationships? But I think that's just my heart in general. Like, you know, I be kikiing all the time and, you know, I play around. But I think that, like, truly my heart is like, why? And are they okay? Like, because of course people act like they're okay, but are they really okay? Like with how their life is, for them to have failed friendships and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think for me, I try to be different than who I was before. Because back in the day, man, when you got falling out with people, then when you had a falling out, for me, it was just like a capital letter after E, U, and like that's just what it was.
Not me doing the alphabet in my head.
But you know, now it's like, again, like I try to work things out. I try to, you know, to apologize, try to reconcile, you know, or try to go to them and be like, yo, like this is what, you know, this is what bothered me, this is what offended me, whatever, you know. And if that's not a mutual thing, I get to a point where it's just like a switch just turns off and it's like, forget it. You know, and I don't know, I try not to carry that it is what it is mentality, which is what I've been doing recently. Is because, you know, we had this, you know, we have it when somebody who we had a falling out with will come to mind, and we'll get an attitude about it, or we vent about it, or we want to call somebody and talk about it, whatever. So rather than me having that attitude, or rather me pick up the phone and call and talk to somebody about it, I just be like, well, Lord, let me just go ahead and pray for this person. So it's like a shift of a mindset that I've had to have with myself.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I agree with it all.
And even with you saying that, because I know you'll call me and be like, oh, this happened. I'm telling you this because I know that you're going to pray for them.
Yeah.
Like, you do that often. Like you said, I know that you're going to pray for them, so I'm telling you this. And I do. But it makes me think about the scripture where Jesus is talking about how, like, to love your enemies and to bless those who curse you. Like, it is so easy to pray for your friends. It is so easy to remember, oh, yeah, I just talked to my homegirl today and she's believing the Lord for this. And then you just start praying for them. But what if in the secret place you are praying and God lays somebody on your heart and you're like, well, I ain't praying for them but like, going after the scripture, it says, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. Like somebody who actually did something evil to you. For the person who strikes you on the cheek, Like turn, like the other one. If they take something from you, the tunic from you, give it to them.
Yeah.
So it's like how easy it is to, snip, snip. You need to cut it. No, like we really need, like, actually, like to be Christ-like. It's to pray for the person. Like I'll be like examining my heart. Like who got on my nerves? Like who did I not forgive yet? Or me thinking that I forgave someone, because you can like say, oh, I forgave them, but then you're triggered and you have to re-forgive them again.
Which is okay if you
right.
do that over. Yeah.
So it's like, how do you even, handle that? But even asking God to help you, because I'm sure people have gone through things and like, I cannot forgive them for what they did.
Yeah. It's so easy to harbor or to hold on to like resentment or all these different feelings because we feel some type of way about a person. But again, like if we're followers of Christ, like we're called to let that go. We're called to be forgiven. We're called to be loving. And sometimes you're put in situations that are going to make you uncomfortable just to see if you're going to love, just to see if you're going to forgive.
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
It's funny because I had this conversation. I actually texted your husband this the other day, Roxcee, and I told him, I said, the crazy thing about this whole Diddy thing is like he still has the opportunity to get his life right with Christ. Like he's still salvageable in Christ's eyes, so as much crazy stuff as he has done. And there's plenty of things that we don't know about and may never know about, but like we still have to pray for him because again, at the end of the day, like his soul still matters to Christ.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. I do have a question. I'm sorry, I don't want to like jump to the next thing.
Go ahead. If Roxcee doesn't have anything, you can ask your question.
Okay. So I was just watching the second part of Philip Anthony Mitchell on the Perry's podcast. Okay. Y'all like watch or listen to any of his stuff?
I've seen his stuff pop up, but I never knew who he was. It wasn't until the video you sent me the other day, and I realized, I've seen his name before, but I couldn't remember where. And then I saw it on with the Perrys. So I haven't watched it yet, but I do have it on watch later.
Okay. Yeah, I started to watch the episode. I mean, I've seen his stuff pop up, but I don't watch him. I watch his worship team leading worship.
Oh, okay.
They be going in. So anyways,
I'm going to have to check that out then.
Yeah, they're really good. Anyways, yeah.
Okay. So as I was watching it, Jackie had mentioned like in their church, like how is their discipleship? Because like a lot of times when we think of discipleship, we think of like a workshop, not necessarily like actually discipling people. And she had mentioned, what is the difference between two women who go to church and they go to a church that is in a toxic environment, and the one woman is not able to find, good community, good discipleship. She's not able to learn the things in the word. She's not able to excel in her spiritual walk. But then you have this other person who finds the community and finds, and she goes deeper in with the Lord and all of those things. And then she says the difference between the two of them is that one of them truly had a desire to go deeper with God. The other one was like, you know what, let me try. But it wasn't like they were really desiring to go deeper with the Lord, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because you know how some people like fall away, like you hear like, oh, this person isn't a Christian anymore, or this person doesn't go to church anymore. She was like, the difference between the two of them is that one person truly desired a relationship with the Lord. So they were, not only did they seek the word, like they were in their word altogether. And because they were in their word, they were able to find like more.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, was this question asking that both these women were in the same church, or just two random women?
Two women in the same church. So they both were in this toxic church, but then like, experiencing church hurt. But but then one goes on to find a more, and the other one is like, well, I didn't find the community. I didn't find the discipleship. I'm church hurt. I'm no longer, doing this thing.
Okay, I only ask because I feel like you can have the desire and both get what you need, but I don't feel like it still has to be there, if that makes sense. And I use myself as an example. So when I was a youth pastor, the only time I felt like I was getting a word at church was when I was the one preaching it. I didn't feel like I got a word any other Sunday, but I knew that was where the Lord called me to be. So what I did, and my desire was I was reading my Bible to make sure I got something out of it, but I was also in somebody else's church for Bible study Monday through Thursday because that's how much I desired.
Exactly.
That's how much desire to grow. That's how much I desired community. So that's why I was asking, like, was she saying that it had to be in that church? I was just trying to get the context.
No. So like saying that they both had the same situation arise. But like even with yourself, you desired more of God. You desired the word. So you went out and did the work. If I'm not going to get the word here, I'm going to go somewhere else and get it. Even if like experiencing a church or experiencing the sense of loneliness, because I think that everyone goes through like a period of isolation where like, dang, I don't have community. I don't have friends or whatever. But it's like that is your period where it needs to be just you and God. So I just when she said it, I was like, dang, because I know like with myself, I see a lot of the friends that I had way back when we first met, and it's like a lot of them jokers is back in the world. And it's like, what was the difference? We were all in Bible study. We were all like had the book open and going, and debating what the word says and like had a zeal for the word. But then you see now only a very small percentage of us is still, at it.
I think that's because when we really look at it, you realize, I don't want to say a lot of people, but many people aren't connected to the vine. They're only connected to their branch. So that branch might be their community group. That branch might be their pastor. That branch might be whatever. And as soon as there's a pruning and they get cut, like they never had a foundation there. So as soon as they go through a little adversity, then rather than turn towards God or run into God, then they turn away from God.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Roxanne? You have any thoughts?
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. I love it. The conversation is great. I'm a little sister, guys, so I have to, act like one. So good stuff. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! But to your point, Ree, like there are many people, and I feel like I've said this before, but just there are many people that I know, people who I either looked up to in the faith, or people who I was around in the faith, or people who I saw get saved and were on fire and just all turn away. And I wasn't around them in those seasons, so I don't know why. But it hurts my heart. Honestly, it hurts my heart more to see people turn away from God than it does to see people pass away. Because it's like people don't choose to die, but you actively make a choice to turn away from the Lord.
Listen, baby, what?
That's good. It makes me think, though. I have a question about church hurt. What do you guys think about church hurt that causes people not to go back to church or not to go back to the Lord? Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. They idolize the person that hurt them.
Yeah.
Or
they're misplacing blame.
Right. Because I had an opportunity to be church hurt. In fact, I was kicked out of a church because I decided because I know like the Lord was calling me to relentless, and because of me saying, hey, I'm going in the direction where the Lord has called me to go, the pastor back then was just like going off and like sent me a really nasty email. So I had that opportunity, like that was a perfect opportunity for me to be church hurt, right? Like you as a pastor going off on me, like you should be like, I bless you, go forth and do what the Lord has called you to do. But instead you sent me this nasty email. So, but I decided that I was not going to be hurt about it. I was going to just be obedient and do what the Lord has called me to do and be where the Lord has called me to be. So I'm just curious as to like, just your thoughts on church hurt, because for me it's just like, yo, like we have an opportunity to recognize the issue and, say, you know what, they're humans, they have their own stuff, all these different things happen, that's their own thing, but I'm going to continue to serve the Lord because he is God, right? Like he's a good father. Like he's the one who is breathing into my lungs. He's the reason why I'm alive. Like it's just kind of like, I'm just like confused, not confused. It's just like, I'm just curious, Maybe I need to talk to someone who has been church hurt. I don't know.
Well, both Aurelia and I have released episodes on church hurt. It's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. I'll say, for me, I personally hate that we call it church hurt, because like, why? I think people just use the term because it sounds good, but like I don't hear club hurt, I don't hear work hurt, I don't hear school hurt. But listen. What we say church hurt, and I don't think everybody has really been church hurt. I think people just had their feelings hurt at church, and that was it. But
what?
Listen,
that was good.
I'm just saying. But for me, I actually had, in recent years, I had it where my feelings were hurt at church, and I strongly considered leaving and attempted to leave. And what the Lord showed me was, it is totally possible for you to have your feelings hurt, and you might even be justified in how you feel. But just because you feel that way doesn't mean that I actually called you to leave. In the same way that your husband might hurt your feelings, or my wife might hurt my feelings. Just because they hurt my feelings don't mean I'm going to leave this marriage. Just because you as a parent, or, you as a kid, your parents might hurt your feelings don't mean that you can just run away. Like we have to learn how to work things out. It's so easy to leave just because our feelings are hurt, just because we feel like somebody did us wrong. Now, granted, some things are justifiable, and you need to hurry up and get up out of there fast. But, so I would say many things, if we really spent time with the Lord like we should, we probably wouldn't find ourselves leaving at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think though, like for me, I find myself in a situation where I'm like retaking the test, right? Because clearly, like, I didn't pass the other time because I was quick to go, even though I felt like the Lord I needed to go. But there was some things that like the Lord wanted to deal with inside of my heart. But at the same time, like it makes me think of like, what is it that the Lord is working inside of you? Like, what is it that He is exposing and that He wants to deal with that's inside of your heart? And because He has exposed it, and now it's in the open, and now you're vulnerable, and now that you're in this place where, hey, like He's trying to do something, but you're like quick to go. It doesn't make sense. It's like, like if like we're more aware of like what the Lord is doing, yes, like we know in parts, whatever the case may be, but like sometimes like we need to just say like, Lord, like what is it that you're trying to teach me? Like what do I need to learn? Like what's inside of me that is causing me to be triggered by this thing? Does it make sense?
Yeah. I think even with you going through your church hurt, you went from one church to another church. You didn't stop. And even when your feelings are hurt in church, I think it's okay to take a break from church, but you cannot take a break from God. And I think a lot of people, when they're saying that they're church hurt, they stop doing everything completely, which is why you see a total character change. They go from, oh, I'm going to church every day, I'm not cussing, I'm not smoking, I'm not drinking, I'm treating people like well, all the things. And then once they go through their hurt, they're like, they put the Bible down, they close it, put it away, there's dust on it. And then now you're back to your old ways. And if you stay with the Lord, even through the hurt, He's going to talk to you, and you're going to go through your healing. And He may tell you, you need to go back. You need to do this. You need to apologize. Or, okay, it's time for you to find a new church. It's time for you to find a healthy environment. And I think that people take a break from God, and then now they're back to square one. And then they have to like climb the ladder all over again.
Well, it is our hope that people don't turn their ears off and turn off their sensors, because I feel like there are people who, leave the church and it's like they turn everything off. So like the Lord is like, I mean, I do believe that the Lord will talk to people in different ways to get their attention, but it's like I feel as though there are people who like, I'm not, Lord, you said what? Like, I'm turning everything off because I'm not trying to hear what you have to say or whatever the case may be. So, and it's a very dangerous place to be in, like very dangerous place to be in. So,
yeah. And you know what? Church hurt will actually, it will sometimes you'll find yourself in places you have no business being, because when I called myself leaving for a little bit, I found myself in a cult. So
yeah, you did. First of all, you were in the church and you were in the occult, but that's not this anyway.
Yes, but and also like because I had friends to pray for me, like I was snatched up out of it. So even if you are making the wrong decisions, or even if you are taking your break from the Lord, or whatever the case is, if you had at any point in time had any friends praying for you, the Lord be speaking to people and have them interceding on your behalf. So I know that was my story.
And you know what? That's good too, because it also just makes me think about like how important it is for us to pray for our friends, whether we're in a good space or not, or just praying for them, regardless of what they're going through. So if you see them going through something and everything good, like still praying for them. If you see them going through something and you don't agree with their decision, like you should just keep praying for them. And I think back to that cold time, and I can remember myself looking at it like, that thing sounds like some foolishness, but if she getting something out of it, then she getting something out of it. But I don't remember necessarily like praying. So I'm getting to myself in this moment at the same time, because it's like, who are the friends that I see that may be going through some things? And have I been praying for them like I should?
Mm-hmm. So question for you guys. You guys are way older than me.
Don't say way older.
We're older. We're older. We're not way older, but go ahead.
How do you guys navigate friendships in your older age? In your old age.
You talking about creating friendships, or like
creating, maintaining your current friends? Like, what does that look like? Like, Jay, you're married, have 2 kids, one on the way soon. Oh, you have 3 kids. 2 kids. Dang, I felt 3 in my spirit. I'm not prophesying now, but anyways, and Aurelia, you're about to be married one day soon, and very soon, and you have a child. Like, how do you guys navigate friendships?
I allow the Lord to lead, man, because I'm busy. I got stuff to do. So I say that in a sense, it's like the friends that I connect with on a day-to-day basis, or just a week to week or month or whatever, like there's understanding there. Like, one of my friends, or the main friends that I keep up with nowadays are the people that I knew before I got married. However, the Lord has also provided friendship wherever I've gone. There are friends, there are guys, there are certain guys that I would consider like close friends that I've built, that I made friendship with, at Relentless. There are people like that I've made friends with through the kids. It's like, me being somewhere where I have to be with it for the kids. The Lord has provided opportunity for me to make friends there. What I will say is I don't force anything, but if the Lord leads me to it, then, I open myself up to it, even if I don't feel like it.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like for me, I've always had friends who are older than I am. And I mean, I do have a few friends who are like younger than I am. But for me, I feel like, I've had my fair share of people, but for the most part, the ones who are still in my life, they've been consistent and they've been with me through different seasons. And so I feel like now, because I'm married, I'm like looking my feelings about it, because I'm like, Aurelia's not married and I want us to like do life together. So like, I'm just like, Lord, please bring her husband. So that's like one thing that's like really hard for me in that area of like not saying that our relationship has drastically changed, but I'm just like, I want more married friends, So, anyway.
I mean, I to answer you, I think that the married friends will come, but you also have to put yourself out there and be willing to hang out with other married couples as well.
And do shoot.
Okay.
He said okay, like she's not doing it.
What'd you say? No.
I don't know what she does.
Okay.
What?
He said okay, like she's not doing it. I didn't say you're not doing it.
Oh, okay.
I know personally that you are trying. You are trying.
I'm struggling.
I think the main thing, my gosh, I think now, because you have to have friends who are mature, because, back in the day, you're going through friendships and if somebody is immature, I'm mad at you because of X, Y, Z, you ain't talk to me. But I think now your friends have to be mature in knowing that if you text me, I may not text you back in 3 days because I looked at your message and I forgot to respond. But that person is mature enough to know I have a child, and maybe just like I forgot to respond because I do it's like a back and forth thing. And so there are friends that I talk to every day, Roxcee, Jay, Chanel. And then I have some friends that I talk to weekly. I have some friends that I talk to monthly, quarterly, but it's like we're able to pick up and go and at where we left off the last time. And there's no ill will or hard feelings. But even if there is, voice like, hey, this is how I'm feeling at the right moment. Like, Or
you can be like me. I'd be like, girl. And then
where you been? Yes. And then it reminds me, she did call me. Let me call her back. So, I mean.
That's just me and Aurelia. So it's different.
Yeah. But it's also just not taking... It's also just not taking things personal. Yeah. Like I had a friend, he called me he called me last night. He took 5 minutes from his daughter's birthday party to call me and apologize because he forgot to tell me about the birthday party. So it's just me, but it was also me like understanding like, we're busy. Life is busy. Like you can mean to text somebody, you can mean to do something and you completely forget. And the day or the time just passes you by. So it's like, I didn't take it personally. We talked for 5 minutes and then today we talked for 30 minutes. So it's just.
So you wasn't working today.
Yeah, you weren't working either.
Listen.
I work every day.
Y'all don't be working for real. Y'all be on the clock and
y'all getting off subject. Y'all getting off topic.
I thought there wasn't really a topic. We just
exactly.
Oh, the part of the conversation that we were on. What I'm saying is, you all have to have, not you all, but like we as people just have to have understanding that things aren't going to be the same way they were when we were kids. They're not going to be the same way they were when you were single. They're not going to be the same way they were when you were in your 20s. They're not going to be the same way they were, when you're married, or even when kids come into the picture. Or if you start acting up and acting foolish, like, listen, I still love you, but I don't want to be around that.
That part.
Or even correcting them before you say, I don't want to be around that. Because
no, for sure.
All the time.
Wait, when you okay, all right.
No, but that's real though, because like I look at it like, I don't look at it like, oh, they tripping, I just don't want to be around them no more. I look at it like, let me check with them and see what's going on. Let me talk to them about the situation. But if I keep coming to you about the situation and you still ain't changed or you keep getting worse, again, back to what I said at the beginning. All I can do is pray for you. And
this is a challenge for me to pray for the people who, I do need to pray for them. Like Namir, he's so good at it. Like I don't think he actually, never mind. Yeah, he's really good at it. So to have him around all the time, I think it's good to see that like all the time. I mean, I know Aurelia does that, but I do need to challenge myself to pray for the saints more. And if I see them and they make me a little bit, I'm going to bless them, right?
Amen. And that's why he's your husband, because there's going to be things that he's able to propel you in, and there's things that you're going to be able to propel him in. So at least he's convicting you to do that.
Okay.
That was like the driest okay.
Like, what?
It's true.
And then it sounded like it came with attitude as well.
It did. And that's okay.
You know what? Can I just say this real quick? So Aurelia and I went to a theme park the other day with some friends. And like if you guys know, like me and Aurelia be going back and forth all the time, but we love each other, like we really do. Like just like how Aurelia and Jay be going back and forth, and me and Jay be going, like it's just a family thing, right? So I was told Aurelia, I was like, I think they think you're mean, and we're mean, but we're literally like just. That's who we are with each other. So if you're listening to this and you're wondering why I say certain things or whatever the case may be, just know that we really do love each other, and it's from a good heart.
Okay.
I mean, people from the outside are always going to have a perspective about a person or a friendship when they don't actually know that person or that friendship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it's true. No, it's true. Sorry, I know it sounds dry, but it is true. It is true. So, but I still wanted to just put it out there because I don't know who'll be listening and stuff. So, I'm kind. Listen, I'm a kind person.
The purpose of this podcast is for people to be able to share their hearts. And we are, listen, it ain't no judgment.
Yeah, maybe it'll give them a different perspective on how they judge someone's character based on what someone said, and that's not what that person meant. Because, we can say, oh, you fake, oh, girl, bad. We can say all those things, and someone take offense when that's not what I meant.
Yeah. Or like you don't understand the dynamics of a relationship too, even.
Right. Like you can't judge a person's whole life just based on one moment that you see. And
it makes me also think too, like I'm just sharing this part because it kind of bothers me sometimes too. Like I know I be having a straight face and I look mean, but I'm actually a really nice person, and like I really have a big heart, and I just feel like I think there are people who have perspective of me who really don't know me and like don't know my heart and my character for real. But it's like one of those things where I'm having to also learn to not brush off, but understand that people are going to think whatever. And like, I can't really control what people think about me as a person because I know who I am. I know the type of person I am and friend I am and all that stuff. So yeah, and he's faithful.
As long as you know your character,
period,
and God knows your character, and your husband loves your character, period. We all got stuff that we need to work on, right? We all have stuff that we need to work on. But if somebody is judging you based on their perception or based on what they see in the moment, or she looked mean, she looked whatever, that says more about them than it does about you. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't even sweat over it.
Period. Okay, is that it?
You have to get back to work?
Yes, girl. I need to go back.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Well, today was a good discussion. I appreciate y'all for hopping on. As we roll out, Roxcee, Aurelia, tell them where they can follow y'all on socials.
Should I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, girl.
You can follow me at Roxcee at _ROXCEE, the unique one, Roxcee. You can. Why y'all? And then you guys can follow me also. Actually, follow my husband and I's Instagram page at Becoming the Branches, and we have a YouTube channel, y'all. Mm-hmm. Becoming the Branches. So. Yeah, we have a podcast, we vlog and stuff like that. And I will be launching my personal podcast soon, but it will all be on the Becoming the Branches YouTube channel. So subscribe.
Nice.
Oh, y'all should already know by now, but you can follow me on Instagram at It's Really Aurelia and at All the Shenanigans. And I'm actually on YouTube now. I got it together.
Period.
So you can follow me on YouTube at, All the Shenanigans. So.
Let me go subscribe to that. I didn't know that you're on there now. Yeah, you
tell me that. Look at you.
Because I just did it, and I was just like, this is crazy.
I know we were struggling, but it's going to be so easy now.
Yeah.
Well, all right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time.
Bye.